Perfect. Okay, so my name is Erik Anderson. I'm one of the senior advisors here at Capital Infusion. Today we're going to talk about a deal that we did in Pennsylvania. The client is an agricultural orchard, and they're looking to get funding prior to the harvest season as they are planting in the spring, harvesting in the fall. 2 years ago, maybe they'd expressed interest on our website or something. We had reached out to the client, make sure they'd receive the funding that they were looking for. They hadn't. They were actually having a hard time securing it. The primary reason is agricultural businesses, as you can imagine, are seasonal. Right? Agricultural things are harvested a lot of times in the fall, planted in the spring. So they need cash flow to bridge that gap till they start getting their major receivables after the harvest in the fall. So we were there to essentially help them bridge that gap and get them the funds that they needed. We got them $200,000 on a monthly payment over an 18-month term, which in this industry, unsecured, incredible deal. So really helped them out. I've funded them now over 2 years, every single year, including as recently as 2 days ago. We got them another $60,000 for the operation, leading into July, August of this year, as they just need a little extra capital for fertilizer, a few items like that. There's different repayment, terms. A lot of times it can be a daily payment, a weekly payment, and sometimes for top tier clients, we get a monthly payment. Obviously, a monthly payment is very beneficial for cash flow for the company. So if you're getting paid, every week on your receivables, a weekly payment may not be such a big issue. But in this case, right, they're agricultural. They have to wait a few months to get paid. So a single, once per month payment is much more manageable for a customer like this. So we were able to build this sort of custom program with a monthly payment, 18-month term, early repayment discounts included in there as well. So if they pay off early, they will save on the cost of capital. Very unique program that we're able to do for, clients who qualify. We go through the same process with every client, right? We essentially look at your cash flow. We look at your time in business. A company that's been in business, 12 months, we're going to look at it a little differently than 12 years, for example. We expect a business been in business for 12 years or more to probably be around next year. They're probably going to make sure that they pay their bill. Company that started less than 12 months ago is just going to qualify for a higher risk deal just because they don't have that sort of longevity, that history for us to take into account when we underwrite the deal. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so in trying to secure this deal, working with this, business, they actually had two owners. A primary owner and a secondary owner each had 50% ownership. So in this particular case, an older couple, when they applied, they just thought they were applying, with a single owner on it. So we went through the entire process with just one owner. We got to final underwriting. We actually pulled, Secretary of State registration documents. We saw there were two owners. We got the updated tax return also showing two owners. In that case, we do have to have 51% or higher beneficial ownership of any company to fund. 51% or more, majority ownership needs to obviously agree to take on the debt. So in this case, we had everything pulled for an owner one. That includes credit, everything all cleared. What happens is in this instance, you find a second owner, you have to now go do a soft credit pull on the second owner. And if their credit doesn't come out in a way that's advantageous, the deal can die. So it was definitely a big, moment where it was a little bit, I don't want to say sketchy, but a little bit stressful because now we had to go through the process of running background on the second owner. Fortunately, she came back with fantastic credit, so we were able to add her name to the deal as we got both personal guarantors on there, signed the deal, and we were able to get it funded. So in that case, small complication did pop up, totally able to neutralize it, and got them funded. So the client was at first, a little worried when it came to the second owners. Once we got that cleared and we got that done, you build trust throughout the relationship, right? So it's a give and take. Obviously, once you tell someone, hey, we're actually not going to fund this because we found a second owner, they do get a little bit worried. Hey, what's happening with my money? What's happening with my business? You told me this was almost done. So you do have to work with human emotions on both sides, right? Underwriter doesn't care about the empathetic story, whereas, the borrower very much wants to tell you what's going on, why, and we just look at numbers. So, you do have to bridge that gap. That's really our role as a sales representative here, as senior advisor, is to take that human element and take the underwriter and take the sort of cold approach that they take based only on numbers and kind of merge it with this human element of your actual business owner and the fact that they might have different ownership. They might have different ownership structures. So, we're able to work with all of that because we have tremendous experience and terrific people power here to actually, work with the human element of these transactions. Super. Yeah. So, tactically, the client was able to put the funds to use immediately. They were able to pay down debt they had with some of their vendors. This allowed them better credit terms heading into the next season. They were allowed to get larger credit, amounts of credit from their vendors going into this season. And secondly, sometimes if they're operating because, for example, the economy slows down, they might be getting slow paid by their clients, their buyers. So they might not have the cash flow they were expecting. That's where we step in, come in with, hey, we've got this 50, 60,000 we can get you, pay it back over the next 6 months. You're actually going to get a great deal on the money. And we step in and help the client out where they need that liquidity. If you found this helpful, share it with a fellow business owner, and we'll see you next time.